Hi everyone, Matthew here, CanadianRenegade.com. So I've got 5 more hardy tree nurseries to go over. And one thing I forgot to mention on the last video was that the reason why I'm doing these videos now is that the best time to order trees from these online nurseries is going to probably be in January or February. If you wait until when you want to plant the trees in April or May, they're not going to have much selection left, and you're probably going to miss out on a lot of things that were available earlier in the year. So that's why I'm going over these now, is because I'm doing my shopping right now. So the first one I'm going to go over is Creekside Home and Garden. It's located in Edmonton, and so Edmonton is a zone between a zone 3 and a 4. It depends on the growing zone charts that you look at. Not too bad of a looking website, but they do have kind of an awkward search feature for their products. When you go to their products, they don't really have a listing, and you have to go through a plant search. And even to get to the plant search, you can see that there's several clicks I had to go through just to get to the search. So it's a little bit of an awkward interface, and I don't think they have their prices once you do get through the search feature. But you kind of enter in all of the characteristics that you'd like, and then you do a search. And they actually have quite a large inventory of plants, so I'm not going to do a brand new search, but I have one that I did set up right here. So this one was just for trees in zone 3A, and that brought up 241 results. So now, because it's in Edmonton and I'm near Edmonton as well, this is probably a nursery that I'm going to visit in person just to see what they have. And but there was a few things that I did notice. So I've been trying to find a lot of nuts for our property that are zone 3 or better, or colder, I guess. And they have both a butternut and a black walnut. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The star beside the black walnut here, that's for special order. So that might be something that you'd have to arrange the year before if you wanted them this year. But the butternut, let's go to that. It says 2B. So for those people that are in even a worse zone than we are, this could be a viable option for nuts, which are pretty rare to find out on the prairies here. So this one looks promising, and when I do the follow-up videos later, maybe there'll be another review on this. So another one that's out by Edmonton, I think this one is in the Warburg area, is Sherwood's Forests. And I've actually had a few people recommend this as a nursery to look at. And they don't really have that much information on their website. Everything is kind of generalized. Their prices, they kind of just say per different classes of plants and size of pots and things like that. And they do have a good warranty. That was something I noticed when I was checking out their site. You know, a lot of places don't warranty their plants because they don't know how well you're going to take care of them, and they get a lot of returns just from people mistreating their plants. But these guys will actually, unless it gets eaten by a deer or something, they'll actually take the plants back. So that's pretty good for a lot of these smaller nurseries. But I have heard that this place also has the zone 3 black walnuts, and I think I also saw pine nuts on the website when I was browsing it as well. And so this one might be another one because it's fairly close that I might head out to just to check out how they operate and see what types of things they have. Cheyenne Tree Farms is another nursery that's fairly close to where I am, and I'm also going to be checking it out. And the website is pretty basic, and it's a little bit kind of, I don't know, it's missing a lot of information. When you go through some of the different products that are available, some of them have good information and some of them don't. You know, for example, this apple doesn't really have any information except that they carry it. But this place caught my eye because I'm a really big fan of Honeycrisp apples. And they apparently have a Honeycrisp apple to zone 3, so that's definitely something I'm going to be checking out. Overall, their selection is fairly reasonable. I noticed that they had buffalo berries. I think they had a few different types of cranberries. Let's go check out their edible fruit section. I didn't really see much in the way of nuts on this website. But choke cherries, honeyberries, grapes, several varieties of honeyberries actually. Brook gold plum. I did see some pears as well. There's an early gold pear. All the different cherries. Looks like a lot of the different sour cherries. So quite a good selection of fruit at this place, but not a whole lot on the nut side. And a lot of the selections are missing any sort of information as it pertains to zone and whatnot. But they did have a fair number of plants that I saw that were down to zone 2. So it's probably a pretty good source for northern permaculture. Okay, so TNT Seeds is another pretty interesting nursery I came across. And it has a really difficult to navigate website. It's kind of weird. It's almost like there's different windows embedded within the actual window. So going back and forth, like you can see there's no back button here. It's kind of weird. They also don't really have a lot of zone information on their products, but they do have, because they're in Winnipeg, I'm going to assume that a lot of their selections are rated to zone 3A or colder. And they do have some interesting selections that caught my eyes. So when I went to the fruit selection, they have a blackberry, and I have not been able to find a blackberry for a zone 3 before. But yeah, you can kind of see how awkward this website is, and I still can't go back. You can see right there. So navigating can be kind of difficult. I've had a lot of times I have to reset by going back to the main list just so that I can see all the different fruits and whatnot. So yeah, there's no growing zone information here. They give a little bit of a description of the plant. It says it can produce up to 20 pounds of berries per plant, and they even have like a recipe, but no growing zone information. But like I said, Winnipeg is a zone 3A, and this is a nursery in Winnipeg, so I'm gonna assume that these are good for a zone 3A. And they had a few other things. Let's just take a quick look here. They had a fair number of grapes. It looks like they have plums and pears, but also not a lot of nuts from these guys. So it might be something to check out, especially if you're in Winnipeg, and I might look into those blackberries. I'll even have an apricot. Let's see. Manchurian apricot. So that would be maybe another one to look into. And yeah, but once again, I'm not seeing growing zone information. I'm not sure why they don't include that information, but it's kind of a bit of a deterrent. But there's a couple of things here that I'll probably look into because they really caught my attention. Grimo's Nut Nursery is another one that I came across, and they have quite a large selection of nuts. Unfortunately, the disappointing thing about this nursery is that most of their nuts are in the 5 and 6 growing zone range. There's still a fair number in the 4 range, but there's very few in the 3, and I don't think I saw any in the 2. So this would be better for people in a warmer growing zone than where I am. And I included it just because they did have such a large selection of nuts, and there may be, well, I guess even if you were in a 4 or 3, there may be things that you could try, even though they might not be rated for that zone. One of the things, again, that caught my eye for this one was the black walnuts. It was one of the few nut trees that they had that they had some different varieties that were down to a 3. You can see some of them are not. This one's down to a zone 5. This one's a lot of different specific varieties. This is a zone 4. But yeah, they have a Minnesota walnut, black walnut to a 3. Morden black walnut to a 3. And I think there was a grafted one I came across as well. A little bit further down that was a 3. So anyways, 2 or 3 black walnut selections to choose from. Quite a large selection of nuts. Let's take a quick look here. So heart nut, Bart nut, butternut, walnut, black walnut, hazelnut. So pretty much a pretty good spectrum of North American nuts. They had some oaks. But yeah, there's very few that were zone 3 or better. So if you're in a zone 4 or zone 5, I would probably recommend checking this place out. But if you're in a zone 2, I don't think I came across anything in their product selection that was good down to his own too. They also didn't have a whole lot in terms of other fruits. It was just a fairly modest selection. And that's about it for this one. And their prices did seem reasonable when I went through and selected some of their options. Their prices seem pretty good. Okay, so that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, take care.